I'm sure that when you initially clicked on this video, you assumed it would be clickbait, but I assure you, this is not the case. In this video, I'll be explaining to you why if you want Xenoverse 3, you shouldn't be fooled by the hype and rush off to buy this DLC. So let's get into it. I'd like to start off this video by covering a few of the arguments that I've come across since the initial teaser released, which would be 1. He should have already been in the game. 2. He should have already been in the base game. And 3. What does it matter? We're getting new moves. I think by now we're all well aware of how lazy the creators of this game have always been. But there have been several examples of characters such as Hit, Ultra Instinct Goku, and God Vegeta who came out either before or briefly after their initial showing in the anime, and were somewhat well designed or had their own unique moveset, as there was no source material to use, and Gogeta is no exception. This argument isn't one that can really stand because there's no legitimate reason to have not had this character be the initial version we got who could transform into Super Saiyan, as well as Blue. The second argument simply isn't possible, as Dragon Ball Super Broly aired in 2018, while Xenoverse 2 was released in 2016. Now, the last argument is the one I want to focus on, and will be what sets the tone for this video. Over the last decade, it's also no secret that game developers have been somewhat lazy, and from my point of view, I would say the developers of arena fighters have had the largest dip in quality. See Jump Force, or My Hero One's Justice for examples, and Xenoverse 2 is no exception. Over time, the DLCs that the game has been releasing are slowly dropping more and more in quality, and while there are some characters that you can argue aren't so bad, when we're getting characters like Omen Goku, Base Gogeta, Pikkon, and Base Android 13, you should begin to ask yourself, why are they giving us characters we should already have this late in the game? And the reason should be simple enough. They're testing the waters to see what you, the consumers, are willing to spend your money on. They want to see if you'll continue to pay for the same recycled garbage that you've already had. Think about it like this. And if I draw 2 pictures of Goku, and one of them is somewhat good, while the other is basically the same thing, but slightly different, and I sell both of them to you, and then I draw another picture of Goku, but it looks like garbage, but you still buy it because it's Goku, then I know that regardless of what I sell you, no matter how little effort I put into it, you're going to buy it regardless, so I can cut as many corners and not have to work towards improving it because I know you'll buy it anyway. Now apply that to Xenoverse 2. If you keep buying these DLCs, then they'll see that they don't need to make a Xenoverse 3 to replicate 2's success, because they can continue to milk 2, because you'll buy whatever they sell you, regardless. And this is the same thing I've been preaching on deaf ears for years, but I will say it one last time. If you want to force a company, any company, to listen to you, the consumer, then speak to them in the only language they understand. Money. Do not give them your money and see how quickly they'll sing a different tune. These corporations only have the power that they do because you, the people, give it to them without a second thought. There's one last thing I'd like to throw onto the end of this video, and I believe most of all, this is the most important part of the video. Stop allowing yourself to be manipulated by YouTubers. The thing about these games is that they get a lot of free promotion from their YouTube channels who stream, leak, and showcase their content, and a lot of the time said YouTubers' income will be made from these games. So even though they know these things are bad for you, or a waste of your money, or your time, they will still fake hype and promote it to shovel it down your throat, because they need your +1 in their video views to +1 more zero onto the end of the check that they receive from YouTube. YouTubers aren't anything more than people who are trying to sell you something, so please keep that in mind before the next time you get tricked into hype purchasing the next game or DLC that you yourself know is bad.